$275,000. My son-in-law emptied my business account while I was visiting my sister in Denver. 2 weeks later, he posted on Facebook, grinning beside a brand new Tesla Model X, and announcing he'd just closed on an investment property in Scottsdale. 4 weeks after that, he called me at midnight, voice shaking. "What the hell did you do? The IRS is auditing me. My accounts are frozen. You're destroying my family." My revenge was calculated, relentless, and completely legal. Before we continue, please subscribe to Silver Vengeance and write in the comments what city you're watching from right now. I sat across from Janet Reeves at First Arizona Bank, staring at the screen showing my business account balance. 0. Not a technical glitch, not a banking error. Completely drained. The statements were spread across her desk like evidence at a crime scene. Every penny I'd saved from 38 years as a CPA, liquidated between September 8th and September 14th, 2024, while I was helping my sister through her knee surgery in Denver. "Michael, I need you to understand what happened here," Janet said, her professionalism barely masking her discomfort. 6 wire transfers over 7 days, all initiated through your business online banking. Correct password, correct security answers, correct 2-factor authentication. I leaned forward, studying the transaction log. September 8th, 2:34 p.m. September 9th, 11:18 a.m. September 11th, 4:47 p.m. All during business hours. All while I was 600 miles away, helping my sister navigate physical therapy appointments and grocery shopping. Who else has access to this account? Janet knew the answer before she asked. 3 people? Myself? My late wife Linda, who'd passed from pancreatic cancer 3 years ago. And David Martinez, my son-in-law, who I'd added as an authorized user last year when I had my gallbladder surgery, just in case something happened. Just in case I needed help managing the business while I recovered. David, 34 years old, married to my daughter Jessica for 6 years. Father to my 2 grandchildren, Emma and Lucas. Living in the house I'd helped them buy with a $40,000 down payment gift. The marketing consultant who'd been between contracts for the past 8 months, burning through their savings while Jessica worked double shifts as a nurse practitioner. The kid I'd mentored, trusted, welcomed into my family. "I'll need to file a fraud report," Janet said carefully. "But Michael, I have to be honest with you. When the account holder gives someone authorized access, and that person uses valid credentials, legally speaking, he stole $275,000, I interrupted. He accessed an account he had permission to use. Her voice was gentle but firm. Banks don't prosecute these cases. It becomes civil litigation, years in court. Even if you win, collecting is nearly impossible if the money's gone. I drove home to my house in North Phoenix through the late afternoon heat. September in Arizona meant temperatures still hitting 105 degrees, the kind of heat that made your steering wheel burn your hands. My retirement fund was gone. Money I'd accumulated from nearly 4 decades of work. The security I'd planned to leave for Jessica and the grandkids. I pulled into my driveway on Thunderbird Road. David's old Honda Accord sat in their driveway 3 houses down, rusted, dented, barely running. The lights were on in their living room. I could hear the kids playing in the backyard. I stood in my living room. Linda's absence hit me the way it always did at unexpected moments. She would have seen this coming. She'd always been suspicious of David, thought he was too smooth, too quick with explanations for why jobs fell through. I'd defended him. Family, I'd told her. We support family. That trust had cost me everything. I called the Phoenix Police Department non-emergency line. 3 hours later, Detective Carlos Ruiz arrived. Late 40s, tired eyes, the demeanor of someone who'd seen every variation of family betrayal Phoenix had to offer. He reviewed my bank statements, typed notes into his tablet. "Mr. Patterson, I'll be straight with you. Your son-in-law had legitimate access to these accounts. Unless we can prove identity theft or coercion, this is a civil matter, not criminal. He stole $275,000. Legally, he withdrew funds from an account you authorized him to access." Detective Ruiz set down his tablet. I've handled dozens of cases like this. Family member gets access for emergencies, uses it for personal gain. Banks won't cooperate because their systems show authorized transactions. Civil courts are backed up 18 months. Even with a judgment, collection is nearly impossible once money's spent. So he just walks away? I didn't say that. Ruiz's expression softened slightly. Criminal system probably won't help you. But you're a CPA. You understand financial documentation. You have resources. Think strategically. People who steal this brazenly make mistakes. Document everything. After he left, I walked down the street to David and Jessica's house. Knocked on the door. My daughter answered, still in her scrubs from the hospital. Her face lit up when she saw me. Dad, you're back early. How's Aunt Sharon? She's recovering well. Is David home? I need to talk to both of you. Something in my voice made her pause. He's in his office. Is everything okay? I stepped inside. Their house still had the new furniture I'd noticed last month. A 75-inch Samsung TV I didn't remember from before. David's office was the converted garage, filled with gaming equipment and expensive monitors. He looked up from his computer when I walked in, Jessica behind me. For just a second, I saw panic flicker across his face. Then his easy smile appeared. Michael, back from Denver already? How was the trip? My business account was emptied while I was gone. $275,000. Gone. Jessica gasped. David's performance was Oscar-worthy. His eyes widened. His hand went to his mouth. What? Oh my God. Dad, that's horrible. Did you call the bank? Could it be hackers? I watched him carefully. 38 years as a CPA had taught me to spot inconsistencies in financial records. People had tells too. David's left foot was tapping rapidly. His hand gripped his mouse too tight. He hadn't asked how much was taken, hadn't asked when it happened. The bank says someone with my credentials authorized wire transfers. 6 of them, over a week. That's insane. His voice went higher. Who would do that? Did you check if anyone phished your password? David, you're the only person besides me who has those credentials. The room went silent. Jessica looked between us, confused. David stood up quickly, hands raised defensively. Whoa, hold on. You're not seriously accusing me, are you? Michael, I would never. After everything you've done for us, after you helped us buy this house, I can't believe you'd even think. Then you won't mind the police investigating. His face went pale. The police? You called the cops on me? On your son-in-law? Dad, what are you doing? He looked at Jessica. Babe, this is crazy. He's accusing me of stealing. Jessica stepped forward. Dad, there has to be a mistake. David wouldn't. I reported a theft. The police will investigate all possibilities. I kept my voice level. Emotion wouldn't help here. Facts would. David grabbed his jacket. You know what? I don't need this. I've been nothing but grateful for everything you've done. And you accuse me of being a thief? I'm going to stay at Brandon's place tonight. He looked at Jessica. I'll call you later. He pushed past me and out the door. I heard his Honda start and pull away. Jessica stood there, tears in her eyes. Dad, why would you accuse him? He's your son-in-law. He's the father of your grandchildren. Jessica, someone took $275,000 from my account. David is the only person who could have done it. There has to be another explanation. Maybe someone hacked him, got his password somehow. David loves you. He wouldn't do this. I looked at my daughter, saw Linda in her face, and her need to believe the best in people. I hope you're right, but the evidence says otherwise. I went home and opened a new spreadsheet, started building a timeline. September 8 to 14, account drained. David home alone while I was in Denver. September 15, I return, discover theft. September 16, confront David. He acts shocked, leaves. I photographed everything I'd noticed at their house. The new TV, the gaming equipment. Started a folder on my computer labeled Evidence. 38 years as a CPA had taught me one fundamental truth. Numbers don't lie. People do. David had just made his first mistake by running instead of staying to prove his innocence. Now I needed to find his other mistakes. I hired Catherine Walsh on Monday morning. Her law office was on the 22nd floor of a glass building downtown Phoenix, overlooking Camelback Mountain. Mid-50s, gray pantsuit, the kind of attorney who charged $425 per hour and earned every dollar. Family theft cases are messy, she said after reviewing my documents. But you've got something to work with here. Authorized access doesn't mean carte blanche. There's an implied fiduciary duty when someone has financial control. Can we prove he took it? We can build a case strong enough to make his life very uncomfortable. She pulled out her laptop. Tell me about David's financial situation before the theft. I walked her through it. David had been unemployed for 8 months. Before that, he'd made maybe $75,000 a year as a marketing consultant. They'd been living off Jessica's nurse practitioner salary, about $95,000. No savings left. Car payments on Jessica's minivan, mortgage I'd helped them secure. And after the theft? That's what I need you to investigate. Catherine nodded. I'll bring in Marcus Chen. Former FBI financial crimes investigator, now works private. He's expensive but thorough. We'll also need a forensic accountant to establish the money trail. How much? Retainer of $20,000 covers my initial work, the investigator, and preliminary forensic analysis. If this goes to trial, you're looking at $60,000 to $80,000 total. I wrote the check from my personal savings account. Thank God Linda and I had kept separate accounts for emergencies. She'd always insisted on it, said you never know when you might need independent resources. One more thing, Catherine said as I handed her the check. Prepare yourself for what we'll find. He's your son-in-law. Your daughter will likely defend him. Your grandchildren are involved. This will get ugly. He made it ugly when he stole from me. That evening, David texted me. Michael, I've been thinking. Maybe we started off wrong. Can we talk? I'm worried about you. I didn't respond. 2 days later, he showed up at my door. I watched through the window as he rang the doorbell 3 times. He looked stressed, hadn't shaved. Good. I didn't answer. He left a note under my doormat. Dad, please talk to me. This is tearing Jessica apart. We're family. I love you. David. I photographed the note for my file, then shredded it. Marcus Chen called me on September 28th. Mr. Patterson, we need to meet. I found several interesting developments. His office was in Tempe, a small suite that felt more functional than impressive. Marcus himself was early 50s, buzz cut, the no-nonsense bearing of a former federal agent. He spread photographs across his desk. Your son-in-law has been busy. First photo, a white Tesla Model X, gleaming in a dealership showroom. The window sticker showed $108,750. He bought this on September 16th. Put down $35,000 cash, financed the rest through Tesla Financial, picked it up September 18th. Marcus pulled out more photos. Security footage from the Tesla dealership showing David signing papers, shaking hands with the sales manager, grinning like he'd won the lottery. My stomach tightened. $35,000. My money. There's more. Marcus slid over documents. September 21st, he closed on an investment property, Scottsdale condo near Old Town. Purchase price $450,000. Down payment $90,000 cash. I stared at the property listing. 2-bedroom condo, modern finishes, community pool. Listed as an investment property on the mortgage application. $125,000 in cash in 2 weeks, I said, plus his regular expenses. Where's the rest of my money? Unknown. Likely in accounts we haven't found yet, or he's parceling it out slowly. Marcus opened his laptop. Here's the timeline. September 8 to 14, your account's liquidated. September 15, first deposit into his personal checking at Chase, $95,000. September 16, another deposit into a new Ally Bank account, $120,000. September 17, he starts spending. Tesla deposit, furniture deliveries. September 21, real estate closing. He's not even hiding it. Why would he? Marcus leaned back. From his perspective, you're an old man who trusted him. Police won't pursue it. Civil courts take years. He thinks he won. I felt something cold and precise settle in my chest. The same feeling I got when I found a critical error in a tax return. The knowledge that something needed to be corrected, and I had the tools to do it. What else? Employment records. He's not working. No W-2s. No 1,099 seconds. No payroll deposits. Jessica's income is their only legitimate source. There's no legal explanation for $125,000 in cash. What about social media? Marcus grinned. I'm glad you asked. He pulled up Facebook on his laptop. David's profile, set to public. Posted September 19th. Photo of him standing beside the Tesla, keys in hand. Caption: Dreams do come true. New ride, new opportunities. Number blessed number Tesla. Number living my best life. Posted September 23rd. Photo at the Scottsdale condo complex, standing by the pool. Caption: Just closed on my first investment property. Building wealth, building legacy. Number real estate investor. Number passive income. Number success. The posts had dozens of likes, comments, congratulating him. I felt rage building. Pushed it down. Rage wouldn't help. Documentation would. Can I get copies of everything? Already prepared a file for Catherine. I drove home and created a new spreadsheet. Assets purchased with my money. Tesla Model X, $108,750. Scottsdale condo, $450,000. Down payment, $90,000. Estimated furniture and expenses, $10,000. Total deployed. Approximately $135,000 of my $275,000. Remaining $140,000. Location unknown. My phone rang. Jessica. Dad, David told me you hired a private investigator. Is that true? Yes. Dad, this is insane. He's your son-in-law. We're family. Why are you doing this? Did he tell you about the Tesla? Silence. Or the condo in Scottsdale he bought as an investment property? More silence. Then, quietly, he said those were from a consulting contract that came through. Jessica, he hasn't worked in 8 months. There is no consulting contract. He bought those things with money stolen from my business account. You don't know that. Maybe he had savings you didn't know about. Your husband was unemployed for 8 months, living off your salary. Where would he get $125,000 in savings? I heard her crying. Dad, please, you're tearing this family apart. I didn't steal $275,000. He did. She hung up. I sat in Linda's favorite chair by the window, looking out at the desert sunset turning the sky orange and purple. David had stolen more than money. He'd stolen my relationship with my daughter, my peace with my grandchildren, my faith that family meant something. I was going to take it all back. Catherine called on October 5th. The forensic accountant finished her preliminary report. The IRS would find this very interesting. Such as? David reported income of $67,000 last year from his consulting work. This year, he filed an extension, but preliminary calculations show maybe $35,000 in income. All from the first quarter before he became unemployed. Yet he's made cash purchases totaling $135,000 in September alone. She paused. The IRS has a whistleblower program. If you report suspected tax fraud and they recover money, you can receive up to 30% of what they collect. But more importantly, tax fraud on amounts over $100,000 can trigger criminal charges. Send me the form. That evening, I filled out IRS Form 211. Application for award for original information. Taxpayer, David James Martinez. Description: individual made cash purchases totaling $135,000 in September 2024, with no reported income source. Suspect, unreported income. Attached Marcus's evidence file and the forensic accountant's analysis. Submitted electronically. Confirmation number appeared. Phase 1, complete. October brought cooler weather. Phoenix temperatures dropped to the 82nd. I filed the civil lawsuit on October 12th. Patterson v. Martinez. Amount claimed, $275,000 plus interest, legal fees, and punitive damages. Cause of action: breach of fiduciary duty, conversion of funds, fraud. The process server found David at the Scottsdale condo on October 15th. Marcus had surveillance photos. David opening the door in expensive athletic wear, face going white as he read the lawsuit papers. My phone rang that night. David, screaming, "You sued me? Your own son-in-law? Over money you gave me for helping manage your business?" I'd been waiting for this lie. Stayed calm. "I never gave you anything except access for emergencies." "You're lying. You told me that money was mine for helping you after Linda died, for being there for you when you had surgery. This is elder abuse, Michael." "You're confused." "I'm not confused, David. I'm very clear. See you in court." "You'll regret this. I'll prove you're senile. Jessica will testify you don't remember things anymore. You'll look like a bitter old man who doesn't remember his own generosity." I hung up. He tried calling back 4 times. I blocked his number from my phone and set up a Google Voice number through Catherine's office for any necessary communication. The IRS notice arrived at David's address on October 25th. Marcus obtained a photo through his contacts. Notice of examination. Request for documentation regarding income sources for 2024. Provide bank statements. Proof of employment. Explanation for cash deposits totaling $215,000. Response required within 30 days. November came. David's attorney reached out. Stephen Harrison, expensive lawyer from a Scottsdale firm. Professional voice, measured tone. "Mr. Patterson, I represent David Martinez in the civil matter. My client maintains the funds in question were a gift in recognition of his assistance, managing your business affairs during your wife's illness and your own health issues. Your client is lying." "Sir, I understand family disputes are emotional, but we need to discuss settlement. My client is willing to return $100,000 if you drop the lawsuit and withdraw your IRS complaint. Tell your client to return every penny plus interest." "That's not realistic. The funds have been invested in legitimate assets. Then we'll let the court decide." Silence. "Then, Mr. Patterson, you should know the IRS examination is causing my client significant financial stress. If you were to withdraw, I reported suspected tax fraud. What the IRS does is their decision, not mine. You're trying to destroy a young man's life over a misunderstanding. Your client destroyed his own life when he committed theft and tax fraud. We're done talking." Catherine filed for a preliminary injunction on November 18th. Emergency motion to prevent David from selling, transferring, or encumbering assets pending resolution of the lawsuit. The court granted it November 22nd. Order. David James Martinez is restrained from selling or transferring the 2024 Tesla Model X, VIN ending in 7734, or the property at 8847 East Camelback Road, Unit 302, Scottsdale, without court approval. Marcus photographed the deputy serving the order. David standing in the condo doorway, reading the papers, hands shaking. Jessica, visible behind him, holding Emma, both crying. My phone rang at 11:47 p.m. on November 29th. "Unknown number," I answered. "David." "Drunk? What have you done to me? You've destroyed everything." I said nothing. Let him talk. "The IRS wants $78,000 in back taxes and penalties. My lawyer wants another $15,000. I can't sell the Tesla or the condo because of your fucking injunction. Jessica's talking about separation. She says I lied to her." Emma asks why Grandpa won't visit anymore. He was sobbing now. "I'm going to lose everything. The Tesla, the condo, my family. I'll have nothing. You took everything from me first." "It was just money. You're rich. You didn't need it all." "I worked 38 years for that money, David. Every single dollar. While you sat in your converted garage, playing video games, and plotting how to steal from the man who gave you a house down payment. I hate you. I hope you die alone, you miserable bastard." He hung up. I didn't sleep that night. Sat in the dark thinking about Linda, what she would say, whether I'd gone too far. Then I remembered coming home to find my account at zero. Remembered David's Facebook post. grinning beside the Tesla purchased with my stolen retirement fund. No, I hadn't gone too far. I'd gone exactly far enough. December brought the holidays. I spent Thanksgiving alone, eating takeout turkey from Safeway. Jessica sent a text on Thanksgiving morning. "The kids miss you. This didn't have to be this way." I didn't respond. The IRS assessment arrived December 8th. Marcus obtained a copy through his contacts. Total assessment, $78,450. Unreported income, $135,000. Tax owed, $42,100. Penalties, $28,950. Interest, $7,400. Payment due within 90 days, or wage garnishment and asset seizure would begin. David had no wages to garnish, and his only assets were frozen by my injunction. Catherine called December 15th. "Harrison wants to settle. They're offering $175,000. Proceeds from liquidating the condo and Tesla, plus whatever cash he can scrape together. I want $275,000, plus interest, plus my legal fees." He doesn't have it, Michael. Then he should have thought of that before he stole from me. January brought the trial. Maricopa County Superior Court. Judge Robert Chen presiding. David arrived with Harrison, looking haggard. He'd lost maybe 20 pounds. His expensive clothes hung loose. I sat with Catherine, calm, prepared. The trial lasted 4 days. Catherine presented our case systematically. Timeline, bank records, David's purchases, expert testimony from the forensic accountant, Marcus's surveillance evidence, the Facebook posts. Harrison tried to argue gift, claimed David had provided business management services worth $275,000 during Linda's illness and my recovery from surgery. Couldn't provide documentation, no contracts, no invoices, no employment records, no 1,099 seconds. Judge Chen wasn't buying it. On day 3, David took the stand. Harrison walked him through his story. That I'd promised him the money for helping with my business, for being there during difficult times, for being the son I never had. Catherine's cross-examination was surgical. "Mr. Martinez, if Mr. Patterson gave you this money as a gift in September, why didn't you report it on your tax return?" I wasn't sure if I had to. You have a college degree in business. You didn't know gifts over $15,000 must be reported? I forgot. You forgot. And these business management services you provided, when did they begin? After Linda died, in 2021, and after his surgery in 2023. So 3 years of occasional help is worth $275,000. That's over $90,000 per year, more than most full-time business managers earn. David stammered. He was grateful. He wanted to reward me by giving you his entire business savings account. Catherine pulled up David's Facebook posts on the courtroom screen. "Mr. Martinez, is this you on September 19th, 2024, posting about your new Tesla?" "Yes." The caption says, "Dreams do come true. If your father-in-law had gifted you this money, why would you need to dream about it? Wouldn't you just say, 'Thank you, Dad'?" David had no answer. Catherine showed the second post. September 23rd. Just closed on my first investment property. If this was a gift for past services, why are you posting about building wealth and passive income? Why not mention your generous father-in-law? The courtroom was silent. Judge Chen delivered his ruling on January 19th. I find the defendant's testimony not credible. The evidence clearly demonstrates breach of fiduciary duty, conversion of funds without proper authorization, and fraud. The defendant's social media posts and spending pattern are inconsistent with his claim of a gift. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $275,000, plus prejudgment interest at 4.5% from the 8th of September 2024, totaling $280,890, plus legal costs of $68,500. Total judgment, $349,390. David sat frozen. Jessica wasn't in the courtroom. She'd stopped coming after day 2. Catherine leaned over. "We can enforce this immediately. Seize his assets, force sale of the condo and Tesla, garnish any future income. Do it. The Tesla went first, seized and sold at auction on February 3rd for $89,000. After paying off David's loan, the net proceeds were $11,200 applied to the judgment. The Scottsdale condo went to auction February 15th. Bidding started at $320,000. I sat in the back of the courtroom, watching. Bidding climbed. $350,000, $380,000, $410,000. At $425,000, I raised my paddle. David, sitting with Harrison, turned and saw me. His face went completely white. The auctioneer called for further bids. Silence. Sold to bidder 47 for $425,000. I'd bought the condo, the property David purchased with my stolen money, at a $25,000 profit. After court costs and David's outstanding mortgage, the net proceeds were $248,600 applied to the judgment. Balance remaining, $89,590. Catherine filed for wage garnishment. But David had no job, living with his mother in Mesa, according to Marcus. Jessica had filed for separation in late January, taken the kids, and moved into an apartment near the hospital. On February 28th, David filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Catherine called me. The bankruptcy discharge won't eliminate your judgment. Fraud judgments survive bankruptcy. He'll owe you this money for the rest of his life. Every job he gets, we can garnish. Every asset he acquires, we can seize. I moved into the Scottsdale condo in March. My condo now, the place David bought with my money. The desert views from the balcony stretched for miles, mountains purple in the distance. I'd recovered $259,800 of my $275,000, lost about $15,000 to the process, but gained a condo worth $425,000. More importantly, David had nothing. Bankrupt at 34, credit destroyed, marriage destroyed, living with his mother, working part-time at a Target distribution center for $16 per hour, of which we garnished 25%. Jessica called once in April. Dad, you destroyed David's life over money. He made a mistake. He's the father of your grandchildren. How can you live with yourself? Tell your ex-husband that stealing has consequences. He's not a child. He's 34 years old. He knew exactly what he was doing. You're a monster. I hung up. Haven't spoken to her since. My sister Sharon visited in May. We sat on the condo balcony, watching the sunset. Do you think Linda would approve of all this? She asked quietly. I thought about it. Linda never trusted David. She saw through him from the start. I think she'd say I should have listened to her sooner. But this war you waged, the lawsuits, the IRS, taking everything from him, was it worth it? I looked out at the desert. He didn't just steal money, Sharon. He stole my trust, my peace, my relationship with my daughter and grandchildren. He gambled that I'd be too old, too weak, too sentimental about family to fight back. He was wrong. July brought my 63rd birthday. I spent it alone on the balcony, glass of bourbon Linda had loved, watching the city lights come on as the sun set. My phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. Michael, it's David. I know you blocked me. I just want to say I'm sorry. I was selfish and stupid. I destroyed everything good in my life for money that wasn't mine. I think about it every day. I don't expect forgiveness. I just wanted you to know I'm sorry. I hope you find peace. I read it twice, stood on the balcony in the warm evening air. Then I deleted it, blocked the number. Sorry wasn't enough. Sorry didn't give back the sleepless nights, the stress, the betrayal. Sorry didn't restore my relationship with Jessica or let me see my grandkids. Sorry was just a word people used when consequences finally caught up with them. I went inside, refilled my bourbon, sat in the leather chair facing the floor-to-ceiling windows. Justice hadn't brought joy, just closure, just the cold satisfaction of knowing that actions have consequences, that theft doesn't pay, that even family isn't immune to accountability. Linda's photo sat on the side table. Forever 59, smiling at the Grand Canyon on our last vacation together. I raised my glass to her. I got it back, love. Not the way I planned, but I got it back. The city lights glittered below. Somewhere out there, David was stocking shelves at Target. 25% of his paycheck automatically deducted every 2 weeks for the rest of his working life. Somewhere out there, Jessica was putting Emma and Lucas to bed, explaining why Grandpa doesn't visit anymore. And here I sat, in a condo bought with recovered stolen money, watching the desert night settle in. It was finished. If you enjoyed this story, please like this video, subscribe to Silver Vengeance, and share your thoughts in the comments below. To listen to the next story, click on the video on the left. Thank you for watching.